Welcome back to Normal Guy Games. Now, anybody that has done any kind of watching of anything on my channel knows that I'm a big fan of Necromunda. So this time around, I actually am going to be kit bashing some squats. I don't necessarily like the look of the squats that are the official Necromunda squats was what I mean. They look kind of like really short cosmonauts, and I don't know, I don't like their uniforms or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack open a Leagues of Votaan launch box, and from that Leagues of Votaan launch box we're going to make and the Gallowdark stuff. We're going to use the Hearthkin team from the Gallowdark box as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a Necromunda gang using those kits instead of the official Necromunda squats. So let's get into it and have a look. Alright, so let's start a new project. Now, as you can see, I started off with Necromunda bases because for whatever reason the squats don't come with actual Necromunda bases. But I decided that I don't like the look of the Necromunda squats. So let's crack some stuff open and let's make some squats. Some squats that are actually good, or at least decent. So eventually I'm going to need the three pioneers, I think they're called, whatever the little bikes are, if we ever decide to do the Ash Waste in my Necromunda group, which we might. So I'm going to put those to the side for now, and I'm going to focus on what I really need, which is 7 gangers. What I'm doing here is I built all of the Gallowfall, the Gallowdark, the Votaan here. I built them as a kill team, as I would assemble them for the kill team. Okay, and I do plan on, and I did, as you can see, I did make some minor changes here and there. I have plenty of extra bodies, so I was able to build all of the specialists, and I'm also going to be able to build all of the weapons, and I'll probably even have a little bit left over. So I'm going with a very kind of a bright palette, just like I have been doing with all my Pro Acryl paints. And I started off with this kind of darkish, lightish, I don't even know what kind of shade of purple this is, but it's from the Vinci V set. It's one of my favorite colors, honestly. I've been very happy with every color from that set. I like the dark jade, I like this violet. And what I'm doing here is I'm just laying down this violet on all of the undersuit, all of the clothing, and then what I'm going to do, you'll see here in just a second, I'm actually going to do a little bit of wet blending, because the Pro Acryl paints stay wet a lot longer than the Citadel paints do, and that's very useful. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a lighter purple, and I'm just kind of sort of very quick and dirty wet blending it into the darker purple in some of the higher areas, the raised areas. Now, I'm not trying to be perfect here. I'm not trying to make it all nice and fancy. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to put a little bit of a lighter purple on those raised areas, and I'm using just a regular old brush here. Now, it has dried at this point, and I'm going back with an even lighter purple than before, and I'm just doing those raised areas again. I'm just doing any areas that are on the top. And now I'm swapping over, and I decided not to do too much on the way of the undersuit, but I'm going with dark jade and then jade for the highlights of it. Now, all of their armor is going to be this dark jade and jade combination. It's going to be all the shoulder plates, all of the chest pieces, and even the wolf thing that's over top of his head. I have no idea what that is, but the backpacks and even some of the accents on his hammer. Now, this is all of the dark jade and that purple that I've done, and it turned out pretty good. I like the combination of these two colors. And with the leathers, I'm going with a mahogany, and that's going to make everything kind of dark and warm. And that's going to be the belts, the pistols, pistol pouches, anything that could be leatherish and or pouch-like is all going to be done in this mahogany color. Now this mahogany color is kind of a dark reddish warm brown, and I'm also going to do any straps and the boots as well. So all of this stuff is going to be in this mahogany brown. I really like this color as a base. It kind of reminds me of Citadel's Doombull brown. And even though I am going to go back over the haft of the weapon, the wrap there with red, I decided to put a little bit of that mahogany color on there as well. Now this mahogany is, like I said, it's a dark warm brown. It's it's almost reddish, and it makes for a very good base for when I'm doing for when I'm doing the umber colors over top. Now the skin, I'm using a fair flesh. It's pro acryl as well. It's a very light skin tone, and of course the hammer got in the way. But for the a couple of them, I'm actually going to be throwing on some of that umber color that I plan on using on some of the leather. Now this, I am having some difficulties keeping it in camera here, and also the hammer got in the way. But I'm using the umber color. It's just regular umber color, dark umber. That is for the that's for any beards and hair on the light colored ones, and for the dark skinned ones, I'm going with just a coal black for the hair and beards, and then we're going to highlight that up later with the light umber. Now, as you can see here, I'm putting that umber color, the dark umber, over top of the mahogany of the backpacks here on just the raised areas, and that serves to just kind of lighten the area up just a little bit. Now you aren't going to see too much of a difference yet. There is a bit of a difference, but when you start putting that light umber over top of it on as like a almost sort of an edge highlight, as you can see here, that's where things start looking good. Now I'm just kind of tapping a couple of areas to make it look like the leather is worn, and I'm doing a little bit of an edge highlight on a couple of different places just to add a little bit of flavor to the pouches, to the belts, to the pistols, to all of it, to make it look like this gear is well worn. And you can see it starting to take shape as I do that. And you can see I painted the plate there on that backpack the dark jade as well. Moving on, I did a couple of the accoutrements in brass, including any ammo that's on the backpack, any kind of like buttons or belt, like the belt buckles and whatnot. I did all of those in this bronze color. Moving on, I took the silver and I dry brushed the weapons, the black of the weapons anyway, and I'm going to add that silver onto a couple of different areas. And you can see here I'm going over that mahogany with the red because I decided I wanted to kind of break that up a little bit. For all of the lenses and all of the pistol grips, I went with red as well, and this is the bright pyrote red. Hold on, bright pyrole red. Anyway, I'm really fond of this color, so I'm putting just a dot on the lenses and just a little bit of an adjustment, just a little dab on some of the weapon wraps. Now moving on, I'm doing a regular jade as an edge highlight on all of the shoulder pieces, on the ridges of the armor, on the backpack, on any weapon pieces that I have made that dark jade color. And I'm just kind of trying to kind of do almost like it's almost like a Space Marine edge highlight here, and just any of the raised areas or anything that hits an edge. Now I'm using a flesh wash here just to change up and add a little bit of depth to both the hair and the skin, and that's just going to redden things up just a little bit and add a little bit of darkness in those recesses. Now I am not going to do a full wash on all of these because it would kind of spoil the color. I really like the way the color worked out. So that's it. I mean, as you can see, I did go back and do the bases. I'm not done with the bases. I'm going to airbrush those. But there we go. I mean, that's my Necromunda team. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video, everyone.